I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
I'm Dylan Bowden for the Joe Blow Network, and this is From Page to Screen. For our first installment, we'll be looking back at the movie that started it all for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, 2008's Iron Man. Co-created in 1963 by legendary writer and editor-in-chief Stan Lee, artist Jack Kirby, Don Heck, and scripted by Larry Lieber, Iron Man first appeared in Marvel Comics' Tales of Suspense, issue 39. Portrayed as a womanizing billionaire playboy, Tony Stark is a scientific genius who uses his powerful mind to design and manufacture weapons for the United States Armed Forces. During a weapons demonstration gone wrong, he is critically injured by a landmine and captured by a Viet Cong terrorist cell led by warlord Wong Chu. Held hostage with fellow scientist Ho Yinsen, he is forced to build a weapon of mass destruction. Knowing he can't aid them, and with only days to live in his current condition, he instead builds a magnetic chest plate to keep fatal shrapnel from his heart, and a suit of iron armor to break free. During the escape, Yinsen sacrifices himself to buy Tony time to charge his armor, and once at full power, he escapes the prison, thwarts his captors, and destroys the camp. Journeying back home, he vows to use the armor for the good of mankind, helping innocent people wherever he can under the secret identity of the Invincible Iron Man. By his second appearance, his look was changed to an all-golden suit, which he kept for only 6 issues until he finally donned his classic red and gold that we all know today. This established a long-running process of Tony updating and upgrading his armor for specific tasks early on, which has spawned dozens of different variants ever since. Tony Stark's likeness and personality were based on real-life genius, billionaire, playboy and philanthropist Howard Hughes. In the same year as his debut, Iron Man became a founding member of the Avengers alongside the Incredible Hulk, the Mighty Thor, the Astonishing Ant-Man, and the Wasp, years before he had his own comic book title, which arrived much later in 1968 with Invincible Iron Man issue 1. In the movies, he had a small arc reactor on his chest to keep himself alive. However, in the comics, he was always required to wear a full chest plate covering his entire torso, which he constantly had to recharge in order to live. As was the trend with superheroes, he also had a secret identity. Iron Man was presented to the world as Tony Stark's personal bodyguard, and would always turn up once Tony was safely away from danger, something the movie quickly decided to jettison.
What about the whole cover story that it's a bodyguard? He's my body? I mean, that's kind of flimsy, don't you think?
Over the years, many attempts were made to get the character on the big screen, but in 1966 he made it onto the small screen first, as part of the Marvel Superheroes animated series, and would appear in several further cartoon adaptations throughout the 80s and 90s when the movie deals really began to take shape. From as early as 1990, a movie based on the Iron Man property had been in development. During this time, both Tom Cruise and Nicolas Cage were seriously considered for the role of Tony Stark.
I couldn't think of a more horrible job if I wanted to.
And directors including Quentin Tarantino and even future Avengers director Joss Whedon were attached. But it was Jon Favreau who was announced in April of 2006 to officially put the character on the big screen. Favreau wanted to make the movie a cross between RoboCop, a Tom Clancy thriller, and a James Bond film, and these influences can definitely be heavily felt throughout the movie.
Vodka martini. Shaken or stirred?
Do I look like I give a damn?
2 vodka martinis, extra dry, extra olives, extra fast. Make one of them dirty, will you?
Borrowing from the 2005 miniseries Iron Man Extremis, written by Warren Ellis and illustrated by Adi Granov. Tony Stark was in Afghanistan testing weapons during the Gulf War when he was injured and captured by Taliban terrorists. And many key frames were lifted straight from the comic book pages.
My turn.
The movie maintains its Afghanistan setting in the present day, but alters the terrorists to a group named the Ten Rings. A clear reference to Iron Man's greatest comic villain, the Mandarin, created in 1964 by Stan Lee and Don Heck. The Mandarin first appeared in Tales of Suspense issue 50 as a mysterious and mystical megalomaniac with genius intellect, and most famously wore 10 power rings, each with their own unique power. But the most important thing was finding the right person to bring the character to life, and several high-profile actors were considered, including Leonardo DiCaprio, Clive Owen, Timothy Olyphant, and Sam Rockwell. The role, of course, went to the more unconventional choice of then 41-year-old actor Robert Downey Jr.
I am Iron Man.
Though staying true to the comic books, several other changes were made for the movie. The first thing changed was the setting from Iron Man's native New York to Los Angeles, as the filmmakers felt New York had already been done in too many superhero movies. Though a clear love interest, Pepper Potts never really did consummate her affection with Tony in the comics, instead marrying co-worker Happy Hogan. In the comics, Jarvis was originally a person. Edwin Jarvis was personal butler to Tony and the Avengers, but was changed to an artificial intelligence as they felt he was too similar to DC's butler character Alfred Pennyworth.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Obadiah Stane first appeared in Iron Man issue 163 as a more supervillainous character, leading a group called the Chessmen, manipulating Tony's life behind the scenes before revealing himself as businessman and CEO of rival arms company Stane International, until he was confronted head-on by Iron Man in issue 200, where he wore the Ironmonger armor developed from Stark technology. In the movie, however, Stane is instead co-chairman of Stark Industries and a father figure to Tony, but like in the comics, gradually reveals himself and dons the Ironmonger armor, though the name is never explicitly said, it is alluded to.
We're ironmongers, we make weapons.
Many stepping stones to the greater Marvel Universe were hinted at here.
Just call us S.H.I.E.L.D.
Next time, baby.
I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
as well as several nods to the comic books. A prototype of Captain America's shield can be seen in the background on Tony's workbench. Stan Lee appears, mistaken for Playboy magazine owner Hugh Hefner in his traditional robe and pipe. The Mark III armour started out with an all-gold render as an homage to the 1960s Golden Avenger suit. A big band version of the original cartoon theme can be heard during Tony's award ceremony. And again as Rhodey's ringtone later in the film. While testing his Mark II armour, Tony passes by a billboard featuring a picture of comic villain Fin Fang Foom, drawn by Adi Granov. First appearing in Strange Tales issue 89, he was one of Iron Man's greatest adversaries, predominantly during the Dragon Seed saga. Coming out of nowhere to become a massive hit both critically and financially, Iron Man made over $500 million from a modest budget of only $140 million, and blew everyone away, holding a current rating of 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. Spawning two sequels, Iron Man 2 in 2010, earning $623 million, and Iron Man 3 in 2013, earning $1.2 billion respectively, and paving the way for the entire cinematic Marvel universe, Iron Man has proven itself to be an incredibly influential film. With Robert Downey Jr. signed for only 2 more Marvel movies, it's unknown if we'll see more of Iron Man in the future, but for now, we have this modern day classic to revisit. Was there anything we missed, or any characters you'd like to learn more about? Leave your comments below. This has been Dylan Bowden for JoBlo.com, and we'll see you next time.